Ever had a friend who lives in a broken home, but who's so used to his situation that he's comfortable inviting people over? And he's not embarrassed when his family is fighting. He's not even embarrassed. Like he feels like it's like that everywhere. You look at him like, dude, what's going on here? But he's like, what do you mean? Like, to him it's normal. He's so used to his situation that he sees nothing wrong with it. Because he grew up, in a house where that was normal. He's not even embarrassed of joining the fight. His family is fighting, he also joins in. He doesn't try to stop the fight. Like, hey, look, I got a friend over. Let's not do this in front of my friend, please. No, he's used to his situation that he thinks is normal. He doesn't realize how messed up his situation is. I've realized that people do not realize how messed up everything is because they're used to this kind of messed up. Right? People are used to this kind of messed up. They don't see anything wrong with the world. They have nothing to compare this world with. This is all that they know, so this is normal. Unless you're a deep thinker, you won't realize that something is wrong, right? Because this is normal. So you need to be a deep thinker to think outside the box and actually realize that, damn, this is really messed up. This is really messed. This is not the best way that we can live life. Kids who grow up in a broken home but who are actually smart easily recognize when there's something wrong, right? Now, when there's something wrong, they realize, okay, the way that we're treating each other in this family is messed up. Let's try to improve. They'll be the ones who will be saying that, and they'll be hated because everyone else is used to the situation and don't see anything wrong with that. So, but there will be that one child that's able to see that, hi, you guys are toxic. This is not how it's supposed to be living. This is bad. There's something wrong. That child will be hated. The child that will speak sense, that's the child that's gonna be hated. Everything about this world is messed up, but we are used to this kind of messed up. That is why people don't even complain, when they see things that don't make sense happen. That is why when you try to show people what is actually wrong with the world, they don't seem to really take you seriously because they see nothing wrong with the world. Remember, I had a debate with someone a couple of months back. We were debating about the future. Like, it's gonna get to a point where babies are grown in a lab, right? I was like, yeah, that's bad. That's really, really bad. That's really bad. And I was like, I want you to think about this. If we grew up in a world where babies were raised in a lab, and someone realized that, it is actually possible for babies to grow inside a person's stomach. And it's actually possible to merge the DNA of a male and a female to produce a baby. What we'll do is that we'll make females attracted to males that are strong, males that are brave, males that are powerful, males that are confident, males that are able to provide, and then we're going to make males attracted to females that are, beautiful, so that will, the offspring will be healthy and will be successful in life. You'd feel like that is messed up, right? You'd feel like that is messed up. The reason why you'd feel like that is messed up is because you will not be used to that kind of messed up. So the reason why you are against the idea of babies being grown in a lab is because you are not used to that kind of messed up. You see? So you think, hi, that's so messed up, that's so messed up. But this is also messed up. You're just used to this kind of messed up, so you see nothing wrong with it. That is why people are afraid of change, right? People are afraid of change. They are afraid of change because everything is messed up and they are not used to that kind of messed up. So they're able to say, but that's messed up, man, that's messed up. Yeah, that's not used to that kind of messed up. That is why when Chinese people eat dogs, you're like, that's messed up. Yes, it is messed up, but you can see that is messed up because you're not used to that kind of messed up. If you, I might be wrong here, but I've seen Chinese people eating dogs. Not every Chinese person eats dogs. I don't want to sound like Trump, all right? But you're used to eating goats. You're used to, eating what you eat. And there's some people who don't eat what you eat. And we're like, dang, did they eat that? Where I live, people eat these worms. Like they call them mopane worms. There are some people in South Africa who don't eat this thing, like they just disguise it by these things. They're surprised that people here eat these worms. That's because they're not used to that kind of messed up. That's all. Like everything is messed up. If you lived in another planet and had to come to this planet and actually see what is actually going on, like you lived in a planet where people were doing things right, you'll be traumatized for life. You'll be traumatized for life. When you go back to your home planet, you will not be the same. You will not believe what you saw. Because what is going on in this planet is messed up, but we're used to this kind of messed up. So it seems like people who are able to see that this is messed up are just weak. Oh, you're just weak. No, they're just too conscious. They're just able to see things as they are, and you're not able to see things as they are. You see, that's the difference. So they're able to say that, no. The world that we live in is actually messed up. Even if they have nothing to compare this world to, they can see that, it is still messed up. You see? Even though they are used to this kind of messed up, but they can still see that this is messed up. So it's hard for them to function. They find themselves wanting things to change, wanting things to improve, because they can see that something is wrong here. If we lived in a world where we had to unalive one another and eat one another to survive, that we'll not be able to realize that there's something wrong with that. Like if we grew up in a world like that. I mean, that's wrong on so many levels, but we will not be able to see that there is something wrong with that because we will be used to that kind of messed up. There will be some people who are conscious enough to see that there's something wrong with that, and who will try to tell people that, hey man, you know, people eating one another, like, that is messed up. That is messed up. We can't justify that. Can't we try to, like, maybe try to grow our own food, right? And, you know, eating one another, like, that's just messed up. But they will not be able to see that that is messed up. They wouldn't be able to see that that is messed up. You know, it's only those who think deeply will be able to see that this is messed up. That is why we are okay with having to unalive animals, you know, to survive. Like, we don't see anything wrong with that. Hey, it's our God-given right. You know what I mean? We're used to this kind of messed up, so we don't see anything wrong with this. It's not. So it's not that the world that we live in isn't messed up. We're just used to this kind of messed up, and we're just used to this kind of messed up, and we don't realize that. Is it? People don't realize that they are very easy to program. There's a reason why we have different cultures in this world. There's a reason why when you look at some cultures, you're like, dang, what the hell? Why do these people do that? And they look at you guys, they look in your culture and be like, damn, why do these people do that? Is it? Because they're not used to your way of doing things, they can see how messed up it is. Because you're not used to their way of doing things, you can see how messed up it is. Is it? And the truth is, everything in this world is messed up. We're just used to our own kind of messed up. That is why it's easy for people who don't believe in Christianity, for an example, to see that, you know, and it's easy for Christians to say that people who believe in other religions, you know what I mean, something's wrong. So it's because we're used to our own kind of messed up. I remember back then when I used to debate with Christians, I would tell them that, man, don't you realize that if you were born in a Muslim country, you'll be a Muslim? Because you have not done anything to actually become, like, to actually, you know, learn that Christianity is true. You just were raised in a place where everyone believes in Christianity, and you just believed in it. That's all. So if you grew up in a place where they believe in Islam, you become a Muslim because you will not be questioning anything. But now you're against Islam. You're against Islam because you are not used to that kind of messed up. But you're used to your own kind of messed up. They're not used to your kind of messed up, but they're used to their own kind of messed up. You see? That's why it's easy to laugh at other religions. It's not because your religion is true. You look at your religion and be like, yo, my religion is true, my religion messed up, makes sense. No. You are used to your own kind of messed up. That is all. That is why, if you're not a talented musician, and you have a lot of passion for music and you don't realize that you're not a talented musician, you might not you might not be easy for you to realize that you're not a talented musician because you are used to your own kind of messed up, but other people are not used to your own kind of messed up, so they're like, damn, what's going on? It's like these people who go to, like, talent shows and sing and they can't sing, and you're like, how did they not know that they cannot sing? It's because they're used to their own kind of messed up. Is it? The world that we live in is truly messed up, but we are so used to this level of messed up that we don't see anything wrong with anything. We don't see anything wrong with people born, in poverty and having to fight to survive. We don't see anything wrong with war. I mean, we might say we see something wrong with wars and we don't like wars, but wars are happening in this world. We can see wars happening and we're not doing anything to stop these wars. So really, we used to this. We're used to poverty. We're used to homelessness. You see a person hungry in the street, you don't feel anything. You're used to that. Inequality, you're used to that. Racism, you're used to that. Slavery, you're used to that. Bullying, you're used to that. That is why you are afraid of change. Even if that kind of change will be better, like will make things better. You're afraid of change because you are all used to your own kind of fucked up. That is why society does not improve. There are people with great ideas who will be like, hey, let's try to do the things this way. This will actually be better, People will suffer less if we did things this way. People will be like, no, that's evil, that's evil. You'll be like, well, why do you think that is evil? I don't know, that's evil. They'll even say, if you don't see that is evil, I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, I know why you think that is evil. You think that it is evil because you've been programmed to think that it is evil. I remember today I came across a video on TikTok. They were talking about this science experiment that this scientists did. They put monkeys inside a cage and put a ladder and then put bananas on top of the ladder. Every time a monkey went to climb the ladder to get bananas, they will be soaked with cold water. Like the monkeys at the bottom will be soaked with cold water and they will hate that. So they realized, okay, every time a monkey goes up to get bananas, we get soaked with cold water. So nope. So they didn't allow that to happen. And they removed some of the monkeys that were there and then put new monkeys there. New monkeys trying to get bananas and then they beat these monkeys up. Because, well, they will not want to feel cold again. So they'll just beat this monkey up before they even climb the ladder. And then they removed all the monkeys that knew what happens when you get the bananas. And what happened? The monkeys that didn't even know what happens if you get the banana will beat the new monkeys that will, be thrown into the cage. They don't even know why they're beating these monkeys. They don't know what happens when you get the bananas, is it? That's how you are. As a person, you just like to think that you're better. You are very easy to program. It will be better actually if you realize that. Because you would improve. You're not improving if you don't even realize how easy you are to program. Human beings are very, very easy to program. Human beings are very, very easy to manipulate. You see, we are the ones who are not easy to manipulate because we're crazy. The crazy ones are the ones who are not easy to manipulate. The ones who are not predictable, right? Like you have to be crazy actually to think right. Yeah, you got to be what society calls crazy. You got to think differently. Do things differently. That's when you'll be able to see things as they really are. If you're just going to be normal and be like everyone else, you're never going to see the way things are. You'll just be controlled without even realizing that you're being controlled. They will give you religions, make you believe in false gods, and you defend these gods thinking that you're defending God. not even realize at all that you are being manipulated. They gave you these gods to worship so that they will control you, but you don't even realize that you are very, very easy to program as a human. You got to understand how your brain works, all right? You are the easiest thing to control, all right? That's why we have different religions in the world. Ask yourself why people who are born in Muslim countries believe in Islam. Ask yourself why people who are born in Christian countries believe in Christianity. Ask yourself why people who are born in South Africa love South African athletes. Ask yourself why people who are born in America love American athletes. Ask yourself why people who are born in Ireland love Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? People who are born in Dagestan, Russia love Khabib, you know? Well, I saw them easy to program, all right? So them easy to program. So you gotta be crazy because if you're crazy, they can't program you. They don't understand you. You see, like damn, what do we even like? That's when you'll be able to see things as they really are. You gotta be unique. Like being crazy is actually good. I mean, people think crazy is just you being you. Actually, like people who are themselves are the ones who are considered to be crazy in our society, and people who are behaving like everyone else are the ones who are considered to be normal. So I'm saying be you, you know, behave like yourself. You'll be considered crazy, but that wouldn't mean that you're not right. You see? Humans are the easiest to program, bro. Another video that I came across today is a video of these women went to shop at Pick and Pay. It was a Pick and Pay, Spar, not Pick and Pay, Spar. They were wearing African traditional clothes, like they exposed their asses and they exposed their breath and only protected like the, you know, the front. They were mainly. And people commented like that's so wrong, that's immoral. I was like, exactly. We are used to our own kind of messed up. So at the time, like when we were, not even growing up, like back then, you know, African people used to dress like that and they saw nothing wrong with that. They were used to that. But now because they're not used to that, they're able to see that, nah, man, that doesn't, you know what I mean? But back then, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I'm telling you that human beings are very easy to program. I used to tell my friend, you know, when we were young, when, you know, older people used to complain about young girls wearing miniskirts. I was like, but you guys used to wear these things, like that's even worse than miniskirts. You only protect your private and leave your asses exposed and your breast exposed, and now you're saying these girls are wrong for wearing miniskirts. Like, you know what I mean? It's because back then that was normal, so you weren't able to see that, but this is, you know what I mean? You were used to your kind of messed up. The truth is that everything about this world is messed up. We're just used to this kind of messed up. So we don't see anything wrong. But if things change drastically, and we look at the, you know, the way things were, you know, not us, you know, future generations look at the way things were, they'll be like, what the fuck? How did they even allow that? It's like we are asking ourselves, how did they even allow slavery? Like, that doesn't even make sense. They allowed slavery because they felt that was okay. There were people who felt like that was okay. There were people who were slaves who thought that slavery was okay. They believed fully that slavery was okay. That's why they've had Uncle Toms, you know, people who were friends with slave masters, didn't see anything wrong with slavery. And yeah, of course the slave masters wouldn't be able to see that slavery was wrong. They were used to that kind of fucked up. But now, when we look back, we're like, damn. So people are not smart, they just like to think they are very, very easy to program. Like, it's very, very, like, so damn easy, bro. That is why to get better results with people, you just gotta manipulate them if you really want to get good results, really. Because that they respond to that, then they respond to truth, then they respond to what actually makes sense. Is it? What are the easiest to manipulate? Easy, very, very easy. Were much easier than animals to manipulate. You think animals are easier to manipulate? No, human beings are the easiest to manipulate. That's why the world is the way that it is. That is why we don't even see anything wrong with what is happening today. It's because we're the easiest to manipulate. And, because of language, they can make us believe that some things are morally wrong, even if these things are not morally wrong. Just like they made those monkeys believe that, climbing the ladder and getting bananas is morally wrong. So even humans, you can program them to think that doing something that is actually right is wrong. That is why we're weirded out by people who speak truth. We've been programmed to think that people who speak the truth, they're wrong. Like, well, why do you say that? Why do you say that about my religion? Why do you say that about my Jesus? No, you are evil. You are evil to even say something like that. I watched the recap of this movie called, what is it called? It's called Uglies. I think it was released this year. So it's about these people who were living like in a world like this, and they were, of course, not. Some of them were not perfect. I mean, not everyone was not perfect actually, but some were worse than others. And they created this other world where they use technology to make people perfect. So when you turn like 15, you go to that world and be perfect. But some of these people who lived in the real world were like, nah, we don't want that. That is actually wrong. That is actually polluting the environment. The kind of technology that they're using is polluting the environment. This other girl, she was in a relationship with this guy, and they had a good relationship. He turned 15 before she turned 15, and yeah, he went to that world, and she managed to sneak in, and she found that he changed completely. He was no longer the same. She managed to, and then she went back to her world, and she was mad at what was happening, and then she met the guys who were against what was happening there, and she took their side. And somehow one of the people in that group got captured, and they changed that person using technology, and that person didn't want to be in their group anymore. They felt like that world was perfect. So that girl, the main character, was like, you know what? I want to invade their world. I want to use this technology to change me. After they change me, I'm going to come back and save you all guys. And then she used that technology to change her, but then she didn't want to come back to save them after she has changed. That tells you a lot about humans, actually. That tells you a lot about humans. That you can be programmed to be anything. You can be programmed to turn against what you represent now, right? If you're a Christian, you can turn against Christianity easily, If you didn't have certain experiences, you wouldn't even be a Christian. Someone asked me a very important question this other day. They were like, man, if you didn't suffer, let's just say things went well in your life, everything went well, do you think you'll have become an internationalist? And I was like, no, I don't think I would have become an internationalist, but that doesn't mean that antinatalism is wrong. It means that I wouldn't have realized that, I wouldn't even have known about antinatalism, because I didn't know about antinatalism, until I went through some shit and started to like really look at, things as they really are, and started to understand antinatalism. So we were very easy to program, But yeah, even if things happen differently in my life now, I'll still be the way, I'll still think the way that I do, because I've seen things, differently than I see things now, and now I see things the way that I see things, and I can tell you that this is the most accurate way to see things. For a person who has experienced life the way that I've experienced life, and for a human actually, because we all, knowing what we know, understanding what we understand, maybe if I was told some things that I didn't know, that and I started to realize that these are the things that are going on, maybe I will change my mind. Maybe if I was told that, hey, actually all the humans that come into this world are from hell. Actually, when a person incarnates here, they come from hell. So this is a place, this is another stage. After this stage, they go to a place that's better, and I knew that for sure. And then I'll be like, yeah, that's good to have children, but what we know so far is that we're just creating people without their consent, and that is scary, looking at what is going on in the world, because some people are really not happy, and they're not even happy that they're here, they're having this experience. But yeah, man, human beings can change their minds very easily. It has to do with how they experience life. It really has to do with how they experience life. If you are married now, if something happened to you and everyone thought you were dead, maybe you got kidnapped, and everyone thought you were dead, and the person that you're married to decided to remarry, and they love the person that they are married to. Years later, you manage to escape and go back to them. Chances are they will have moved on, right? They're not gonna still love you. They will have moved on. That tells you something about how we are as people. We are very easy to program. All right, we don't believe the things that we believe really because we care about what is right. We care about what is best. It has nothing to do with that. It's just how we feel at the time. It's just emotions, feelings. That's it. How we've been programmed. That's all. But it has nothing to do with truth. What has to do with truth is something that doesn't involve emotions. No emotions involved, no feelings involved, no pain, suffering, anything like that involved. You just be like, this is the truth. You just think rationally and see things as they really are. But things that involve emotions, all that, you can't really trust people when it comes to these kind of things. I remember this other day, when I was still living in a village, I was going to this other village to meet a friend. I saw this guy running. I was running very fast, and I was like, what's going on? Behind him, there were men in uniform chasing him. He decided to hide somewhere. I saw where he was hiding. The man in uniform asked me, hey, didn't you see this guy wearing I think he was wearing a blue t-shirt. It's like, I didn't see him. I remember last year I met him. I hadn't even recognized him. And he saw me, he was like, bro, how are you, man? Like, he was so happy to see me. He said, I'm good. And then he told his friends what happened. And I remember that, oh, yeah, here's the guy. He's like, yeah, this guy, man, he didn't say anything to this man that were chasing me. And he told me the whole story. It's like, yeah, because where I live, like, they mine gold, make money. He's from Zimbabwe. Told me his story, suffered a lot, and he came here to South Africa to make money. So remember when I told you what happened, like why I have this big scar? I have this big scar because I wanted to become a policeman. I passed all the tests, but it turns out like I had to like burn myself. I told my mom to burn me with an iron, but she got scared when she was like burning this thing with an iron, so I had to like burn myself with an iron because they don't want tattoos. But then it turns out that I have a criminal record because in 2013 actually, I fought with someone, and yeah, they opened a case. I didn't even know that I have a criminal record because I paid 300 for bail. I only slept one night in a holding cell and paid 300 for bail. So I didn't know that I had a criminal record. 300 is like $17. So I was like, oh, obviously I don't have a criminal record. I mean, but I didn't know. They didn't advise. I was still young. I was like, I think I was 18 or 19. So yeah, it turns out I have a criminal record. So I wasn't going to get the job. But one of the reasons why I didn't fight to get the job was because I realized that I would have to become a hypocrite. Right? I would have to become a hypocrite. I would have to arrest the people who I know are just doing what they just gotta do to survive, because, well, there's nothing else to do. If they do nothing, they'll just starve and suffer. Is that what is good? Yeah, a person just suffers, period. They can't even use natural resources to make money, because we're like, hey, these people own this, these people with money own this and all that. You see? Or the government owns this, but the government is not doing anything for them. I understand that they come from another country, but still, South Africans also do that. So I didn't want to find myself in a situation where I have to arrest the people that I understand, knowing that it was possible for me to be that person. I'm just lucky. So that's one of the reasons. It's like, yeah, you view things the way that you view things now because of your own privileges, because of where you are. A cop can arrest a person that they would have been if they didn't become a cop, and they will feel right to arrest that person. You broke the law, so I must arrest you. But if you didn't get the job, you will be that person. You will be doing what that person is doing. That's why it's hard for me to judge other people. I'm like, if I experience life the way that they have experienced life, would I not be like them? Right? Will I be this person that I am today if I experience life the way that they experience life? It's very easy to judge other people when you have not seen life from their perspective. And you don't know what it's like to be them. You don't know how life treated them. Yes, there are people who have been treated so well by life that they're spoiled. And they are fucked up because of that. But yeah, even you, if you have been treated the way that they've been treated by life, you probably will be spoiled. We're so damn easy to program. That's what we must understand about ourselves. We lie to ourselves a lot, and we like to judge other people a lot. That goes back to what I was saying to you, that we are used to our own kind of messed up. So I'm used to the way that I am as a person, that I don't even see my own flaws. But it's easy for me to see other people's flaws, right? So other people look at me and be like, dang, yeah, this motherfucker is flawed in so many ways. I look at them and be like, damn. Because I'm used to my own kind of fucked up. They're not used to their own kind of fucked up. So that tells us that everything is messed up. We're just used to this kind of messed up. So we don't see anything wrong with the way things work in this world. Like this world is just, it's not it, man. Like, the more you realize how things are, you realize that this world is not it, and we're not improving. We're afraid of change, even if the change is better, because even that kind of change, it has its own level of messed up, but you might find that it's better. That's why when you tell people, like, hey man, I think people should be assisted if they want to exit. No, that's evil. But nature does that to us. Nature does give us sicknesses that make us, You're like, well, if that is evil, why is nature allowed to do that to us then? We're basically saying, yeah, nature do this to me. I don't wanna have a choice. It's you who has to choose. Me, I shouldn't have a choice. I'm not intelligent enough to have a choice. You're like, okay, fine. If you're not intelligent enough to have that kind of choice, it's fine. But what if I feel like I'm intelligent enough to have that kind of choice? No, you're evil. You are evil. Like it's, a bit. It sucks, but it sucks when you realize how unconscious people are. I remember I gave you this example about this lady. She was debating the legalization of, I can't even say it, made. Like, I think I can say it in Canada. Yeah, she was arguing against that, and then her grandfather became very, very sick, and she had to, see him go through hell. And then she changed her mind like 2 years later. You're like, that tells you a lot about humans. Like, we can change. Like, it has to do with experience. So you mustn't stand in the way of someone's freedom just because you have not seen things from their perspective, because you're going to make them suffer and then change in the end. Doesn't that suck? That is why I don't want to control anyone. I want people to be free. When I make these videos, I'm not making videos telling people to control other people. I'm making videos to wake people up. I'm making videos to make people see things as they really are. I will never say, hey, just because this is what I believe, we must force everyone to believe what I believe. No. Because what if I do change my mind at some point? Who knows? Anything is possible. What if I realize something that I didn't realize before, and I change my mind? Because we still don't know what the heck is going on. No matter how much work we do, we still cannot know. And like I told you before, that even if God came down from heaven and spoke to us about what is actually going on, it doesn't mean that we should trust him. It doesn't mean that that would be true. It could be some force that is trying to manipulate us. Anything is possible. So as long as we're still in this realm, we can't say we know anything for sure. Even if you hear a voice in your head that's telling you some things or that's predicting the future, doesn't mean that that is right. That is why the people who are channeling aliens, like, you still have to pay attention to what they're saying than to just take everything they're saying because they're saying they're channeling some aliens. Like, nah. We need to, hear what you're saying to see if you're really, really making sense. There are people who commented on some of my videos who said, I used to feel like the things that you're saying were not true, but now I think you're right. Or they will apologize for not understanding me. And they will say, yeah, I used to not understand people who think like you, but now I fully understand, after watching your video. That shows you that human beings can really change. Like, we are easy to program. Just because now we feel the way that we feel doesn't mean that we will always feel this way. Yes, there are people who think more rationally than others, and that's what we must strive for. All of us who must try to reach a level of consciousness where we think very rationally, so that we'll make decisions that we can explain, not decisions that are going to cause suffering for others because we are so damn ignorant. It's very easy to be ignorant, bro. It's very easy to be a hypocrite in this world. I've seen policemen protect their children, even if they've done something that other people were arrested for. That's my child. Like, it's not easy for people to be hypocrites. I've seen judges protect their children even if they've done something that they have judged, some people for doing. Like, put people in prison for doing these things, but they when their sons do the same things, they don't got a problem with that. That's because as humans, we are, we're controlled by emotions, and you can't trust anything that is controlled by emotions, because it's not about truth, it's about how you feel. You see, you don't really care what the truth is, you care about how you feel. So people need to realize that just because they're used to the way things are, it doesn't mean that this is the best way that things can be. Doesn't mean that we got it right. Some people don't even know how to weigh things, like to figure out what is more right. To them, it's just about how they've been programmed, right? They've been programmed to think that something is wrong. It doesn't matter if you show them that, what they've been programmed to think that is wrong isn't actually wrong. It was wrong maybe at the time that people thought that it was wrong, but now it isn't. But they will not be able to realize that because they are not capable of like weighing things to see what is more right or what makes the most sense. It's just about how they feel. Don't know how much they've invested in believing what they believe. Like, if you grow up in a society where they're telling you something is wrong, even if they're not telling you why they're saying that it is wrong, you will emotionally invest in that, in the idea that that thing is wrong, right? So when someone does it, you'd feel as if they've done something wrong. You would even hate them because you have emotionally invested in the idea that it is wrong. Not because it's actually wrong. You can make a person think that something is wrong even if it's not wrong, very easily. You can make a person think that doing this is wrong. That is why some people have judged me for, because when I talk, I do this a lot. Like, yeah, he's throwing, Illuminati and signs and all that. I'm not even sure that he's aware that it's like they program you to think that it is wrong to do this or to do that. Like, these are my hands, bro. I can do what I want with my hands. I dealt with that a lot when I was in high school. When I'll be doing like presentations, I'll be using my hands a lot. Like, people who think deeply use their hands a lot because we feel what we say. You know what I mean? Like, you feel it. You literally feel it. So you use your hands a lot to explain what you're saying. That's why rappers use their hands when they're rapping. So they can do whatever they do with their hands. It doesn't mean that they're now Illuminatis and all that shit. But yeah, you see a person doing this, you be like, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. That's an Illuminati. And it's like, these are my hands, bruh. I can do what I want with my hands. I shouldn't have to think about y'all before I do what I want to do with my own hands. It might mean what it means in their language, but it means what it means in my language. You see? Just like, people, speaking different languages. There are words that are offensive in some languages that are not offensive in other languages. It doesn't mean that people must not use these words just because they're offensive in other languages. So we need to be honest with ourselves about everything to see things more accurately so that we will, make logical decisions. other than being controlled by our emotions. Because that's where we're at. People be controlled by their emotions. They think they're strong. But I don't feel like people who are controlled by their emotions are strong. I think people who are rationally minded, these are the people who are actually strong. These are the people that you can actually trust. Because when you tell them what actually makes sense, they can evolve, right? A person who's controlled by their emotions will not evolve. Ever dealt with the person who's controlled by emotions, bro? You tell them the truth and they just don't get you. To them, it's about how they feel. How do I feel about what this person is saying? Okay, I do not feel good about what this person is saying, so I'm not going to agree with them. Or I feel good about what this person is saying, so I'm going to agree with them. So you can't trust the person who is controlled by emotions. It's much easier to trust the person who is logical because, well, they can grow, man. You can use logic. Can you imagine if a person, like you were debating with a person who felt like 1 + 1 was 5. They felt like 1 + 1 was 5. But you knew that 1 + 1 was 2, right? How would you convince them that 1 + 1 is not 5? They said they felt strongly that 1 + 1 was 5, and they were controlled by their feelings. Of course, you would not be able to debate with that kind of person. You would not be able to convince that person that 1 + 1 is 2 because they feel like 1 + 1 is 5. You see? So people who don't use logic are the hardest to deal with. So you mustn't even waste your energy explaining yourself to these kind of people. They don't have the intelligence to understand you, you know. So it's better to have conversations with people who think rationally and who are willing to evolve, who are willing to grow. On this channel, I focus on telling people the truth. I don't really care about how you feel, really, because I've suffered a lot. I've felt a lot of pain in my life that I'm not afraid of pain, you see. So even if understanding something is going to make me feel pain, I'm not going to not try to understand it because I'm trying to avoid feeling pain. You see, I'm to just be like, I'm going to feel the pain because I'm already used to pain. Besides, life itself is painful when you are a deep thinker. So, you know, whether you deliberately, ignore the truth, doesn't mean that you still won't be affected. So it's much better to try to process the truth, understand it better, and let it be. You know. So I try to show people, the way things are. Show them that, hey man, the way that you used to view reality might not really be the best way to view reality. There are a lot of things that you didn't understand, or a lot of things that you were ignoring that I'm not ignoring. You were ignoring this, I was not ignoring that. So, try to see things more realistically so that you can make better decisions. You cannot tell me that it isn't messed up that we have to eat other living beings in order to survive. It is messed up, just like it would be messed up to live in a world where we had to eat each other to survive. I shouldn't be saying something like, hey, it's nature, man, it's just nature. It's how God wanted things. What does that tell us about God? Because if a human created a simulation, there will be a God in that simulation, right? But if they are flawed, those who will be stuck in that simulation would need to realize that, like, nah, whatever created this simulation is actually messed up. They shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, we must agree with whatever the creator of this simulation says. That's Stockholm syndrome. There's some people who are so damn weak that they will agree with their oppressors. But well, you're powerful. You're powerful, so I must just submit to you. I mustn't submit to you because I agree with you. I must submit to you because you're powerful. So I must, worship you until you feel something and decide to help me. That's the relationship that religious people have with their God, right? But I can see that, you don't really want to, do this for me, but I'm going to keep praying until I touch your heart, you see? So that I will get what I want. I'm going to keep praying, I'm going to keep worshiping you, I'm going to keep pretending as if I'm okay, even if I'm not okay. I'm going to keep pretending as if I agree with you, even if I do not agree with you. I'm going to keep worshiping you. That's what Christians are taught, that no matter what's going on in your life, you could be suffering 24/7, worship God, tell him that you appreciate life, tell him that he's great, tell him that he's wonderful. That's when he's going to bless you. You see? That's the kind of advice that you need to give to people who were kidnapped by a psycho. Make that psycho believe that you agree with him. Make that psycho believe that you love him. That's when he's going to treat you better. If you fight with him because he's so powerful, you're going to lose. So what if you just submit to that psycho? That's what Christians are telling us. Like, you just submit to our psycho and you'll be fine. You're like, nah, man, your God is a psycho. I'm not a psycho. Maybe you're not able to see that it's a cycle because, well, people, let me not even say that. But we need to be as honest as possible, man. There needs to be honesty. That's like the only way people can get to the truth. Without honesty, people never really get to understand anything. But people who are honest, like, really, really understand, things the way that they are. So intellectual honesty is important, man. I'm telling you, intellectual honesty is important. Truth is important. You gotta judge yourself. See what's messed up about you, right? Oh, I'm messed up in this way, okay? So this is what I gotta work on. This is what I gotta do. You keep on improving. But if you don't judge yourself, if you don't try to figure out how you're messed up, you're never improving. Some people might tell you that you're messed up in some ways and they don't even see that. You still continue to think that you're perfect. Well, I'm perfect as I am, and you never grow. You're 20, you think you're perfect. You never grow. 30, there was no growth at all. 40, no growth at all. And when you're not growing, you're not even getting to see things as they really, really are, right? So you must constantly judge yourself, see where you're wrong, and try to be more right. Like, being right is acting in ways that are logical, right? That's what being right is about. Like, that's morality. It's being logical. People who are not logical thinkers, these are people who tend to do horrible things. But if you are logical, you tend to do the right things. You tend to do things that even if people do not understand at the time, but after some time they'll realize that you were right. You see? But people who who don't think logically, they might do things that everyone think is right, and then later everyone see that, no, that was wrong, that was messed up. Why did we have to do that to that guy? Why did I have to mistreat that person? It's because I wasn't conscious enough to realize that that was wrong. So you mustn't be comfortable in your own mess. There must always be willingness to evolve out of your mess. and become better, become more real, act better, think better. Unfortunately, this world that we live in is too used to its own mess that I don't know if we can change it. I just think that few people can change themselves, start to see things as they really are, and they'll make decisions that make sense for them, and they'll be able to free themselves. Right? You'll be able to free yourself if you make decisions that make sense for you. So the focus should be your own freedom than saving the world. You're not saving this. This world is really used to its own mess, man. So never make a mistake of becoming used to your own kind of mess, because you're gonna keep on making mistakes and not even realize that you're making these mistakes, and that will lead to your suffering and the suffering of others. It sucks to suffer without even knowing. Like, it sucks to cause your own suffering and not even know that you're causing your own suffering. So you want to blame other people because you don't even realize how you're causing your own suffering. That's why I'm saying you must constantly judge yourself. Judge yourself even if it hurts. Did I do things right? And I'm not even talking about morality here. All right. I mean, were you rational? Like, is that the most rational decision that you could have made? Just like I'm telling you that the highest form of morality is rationality. Thank you all, guys.